Alright, is this working? I think it is. And I think I can turn that off. Okay, I've just been cleaning up these parts here. These are the Petcocks from my Ducati bevel. All I did was pull them apart. It's because I'm doing some work on the tank, cleaning it out. The bike was laid up for quite a few years, so I'm cleaning it all out, getting all the crap out of it, and cleaning these out at the same time. And so I've given them a good clean, good scrub, degrease, scrubbed them all out, got them up quite nice and tidy, and I'm just going to put them back together. I thought I may as well stick it on video, and we'll make sure I do it right. So the main thing is the way it works. Holes in there. 2 holes come in through the filter. One comes in from a little hose at the top. The other hole comes in down at the bottom. The top is your normal for petrol. The bottom is reserve. So it hits the if your petrol in the tank goes down to that level, all of a sudden it runs out, so you switch to the other hole, the reserve, and it can run all the way down to them. That's quite a lot of reserve, I think, quite a long way down there, so I'm surprised by that. In any case, I'm about to pop these in, and so the fuel comes through those two holes, either left and right, and then this thing here. Let's see, which way does it go on? Don't know. This is going to be the problem. So on, off, reserve, reserve. Okay, so reserve hooks up the bottom hole to the side hole. So obviously that's the one that gets in the bottom. That's reserve. You switch the other way like that. The back hole gets hooked up with the bottom hole. Okay, so the bottom hole is the one that goes out. That's what I said first. The bottom hole goes out there. The other holes are reserve and normal. Okay, and so off is pointing forwards, which actually hooks the 2 top holes together. That's what it does. Okay, so that does go on that way. That one's the same. And in here there's a spring, really strong spring that pushes this whole thing, this nice flat surface, against this rubber seal here. And that's how it works. I mean, it's a bit crappy, but it just pushes against that and opens from one hole to the next. And so all I'm going to do is I'm going to use a bit of a silicone grease to grease up the rubber part, well, the face of it in any case. Yeah, I guess just the face. Maybe I'll just grease up the face of this thing here. Let's have a fiddle. I'll actually grease them up first while I'm doing this. So I'll take a bit of the grease, put it on my fingers like that, and this is going to go straight in there like that. I might just get it all around the back and sides there as well, so it's just so it's pretty well covered, but not thick, not at all thick. It's just greasy. That's the idea. We're just making it greasy. Okay, I'm going to drop that in there. Get a tiny bit more grease, and I'll do the other one. Do around the edges too, because this thing obviously has to work as part of the seal. Okay, just put my glasses on so I can examine the edge here really closely. Yeah, I hate glasses now, having to wear them lately for close-up work. Just examining the face of these little ridges around each circle, because obviously if there's any damage on them, it wouldn't work very well. It might just cause a little bit of a leak. Okay, so that's that. Next bit is greasing up the face of this thing and around the outside there. See, there's little rubber a rubbery O-ring around the outside. Okay, I'm just going to grease that up. Going to get a little bit more of this. Okay, grease up around the outside, grease up the face, around the outside. Okay. And I guess that's going to be sufficient to, let's see, this goes in like that, holds up, goes like that, hooks up that and that, goes like that, hooks up the other. Okay. Make sure that's well seated. Okay. Okay. Yep. Good. Just going to pop that on there and give it a little spin. While it spins. Not the best feeling grease. Expected it to be a little bit smoother and without that kind of frictiony feel to it. However, it only goes from there to there and back. These were completely seized up, these things, when I started when I was first getting the bike fired up. They're completely solid. They just wouldn't budge. It was so hard to move them. I thought I was going to break off the taps. Eventually they let go. And once there's petrol in there, they will work quite well. So then we have the springy bit. Does that go on here? Gosh, it does too. Yes. Okay. Seems fine. Yeah, this whole system is a bit crummy. I mean, you'd think you should actually have a tiny bit of grease along there for where it sits against the back side of this, but you also don't want it sort of attracting grit and dirt over time. So I think so long as this surface is nice and smooth, and I guess what I'll do, just use the smallest amount of greasiness on this surface here, just so that it's a little bit greasy. It's not thick, it's just very slightly. Very slight. Okay. Alright. That's all looking fine. And get my screwdriver. Feels good. Yeah, that feels good. So the yeah, doesn't need to be tight particularly, because this doesn't provide the seal. The seal is entirely that spring. Okay, not gonna spin that too much. It's looking pretty good. Same thing over here. Just gonna grease this up with my fingers. Okay, it goes up, so it's that way. Then we got the spring. tight fitting. Then we got this thing here, which again I'm just going to grease the back of that plate a little bit. Once I put it all together, I'm going to wipe the exterior, the outside. Okay. Not much to this. I've seen these. You can get these on eBay. These taps, all kinds of different shapes and sizes. These are the originals, which in the year for my bike had these plastic levers. It'd be nice to get the all metal ones, but this is what the originals. These are the originals. So for the sake of originality, and because they're in fairly perfect condition, I'm just gonna retain them. Okay, there we go. My fingers are all a bit greasy from this. Okay, that's an improvement over the way they did look. Looking quite new. Yeah, you know, there you can see where they're dirty inside the back there. Just cleaned them by hand. I didn't blast them or anything. Alright. Yeah, feels quite tight. That'll loosen up with some fuel. Hey, there are the fiber washers. Go back on them. And we are done with those. I'll put them on the bike after I've cleaned up the tank. Okay, turn this thing off. Let's see, I'll use the button on the camera.